Hi everyone. So today we're going to be having a conversation with psychologist Victoria Joseph, who is based in Kenya. And Victoria, would you like to introduce yourself before we get started?
Yes, thank you. Thank you for having me. My name is Victoria Joseph, psychologist for Africa, but I'm based in Nairobi, Kenya. Thank you.
I guess if we're going to start this conversation, what are the biggest mental health struggles that you think affect African adults today? In your experience, what do you think those are?
Okay, data is still being collected because mental health is still something new that's coming up now. But so far, the studies we're getting indicate that the most prevalent cases are depression and anxiety, as well as post-traumatic stress, of course, which has been brought about because of the many conflicts. You know, we've had a lot of wars in Africa, and they come with their fair share of stressful events. So post-traumatic stress is also big, yeah.
So if we're saying that, data is still being collected, I guess it's also because there's a heavy stigma around mental health. What are those stigmas, would you say?
Yeah, precisely. You know, mental health, it's something that it is there, but people have not there was not much focus on it because of the stigma associated with it. Because people believe that if you're ill, if you're mind, if you have depression, bipolar, or any of these ill sicknesses, it's because maybe you're cursed, you're possessed by demons, or it's some spirit. So I mean, it's remained a mystery. Yeah. So there's a lot of stigma around it, a lot of fear, and most people who have suffered from mental health illnesses have actually been abandoned, left aside. So that mystery, but we're here to create awareness about that. Things are changing, I must say.
For sure. And I think you're part of that change as well, which I think is really amazing. How would you then sort of approach people and saying, how therapy can be helpful if there's the big stigma around it? How can you say that therapy is helpful versus, speaking to friends or reading a self-help book or trying to do it on your own?
Yes, I think actually the starting point is people need to know that Africans had their own way of actually helping people when they were experiencing stressful situations. We had passages of rites, initiation ceremonies. There were occasions where mentorship was big, and the community was responsible for each and every person. You know, Africans, you live as a community.
Yeah.
So these practices were there. It's just that now when we just come in formally and talk about mental health, and that it's not the stigma and all that, I think what we're trying to do is look at it from also the African worldview, from our context. What does it then mean, even in the choice of words? Instead of therapy, then is it healing? Is it just talking, or it's also like any other disease? That's what we're trying to break that stigma and create awareness around that. And one of the things, and this came about actually during COVID, I think now that we realize that now people are really being affected by the impact of COVID. So what we did is I started this practice, an online practice, and I said, you know what? How can we reach people? People were at home. There was a lot of stories of suicides and a lot of stressful situations. And actually, that's how I started my practice for online therapy, because I'd like to reach as many people as possible and at their convenience and within their schedules. Yeah. Yes, mental illness is like any other disease. There's help out there, and it's okay to go out, and it's not something to be ashamed about. And we are talking about it. We are talking about it, and there's very good response. People are coming out, and they're actually seeking our services.
Yeah, because the help is available and it is there for people who need it, which I think is the important message to get out.
Yeah. And you see, for us, why online really works is because we're just starting off. Maybe if you feel you're scared, you don't want to be seen going to see a therapist, then all you need is just internet and your phone. Just log in and you have access. And it's at the privacy of your home, your office. Even people are talking to us and they're in the cars and they're getting help. Yeah, so it's awesome. I like it. And I like it that the narrative is actually changing. And we have a lot of, also, we are also, even as now as professionals, we are also trying to be more culturally sensitive so that we can be able to look at therapy from an African's point of view.
Yeah, which I think, you know, especially like from where you are, like you've noticed that the gap is there and you're filling it. And I think that's really incredible. If you, I guess, could give a message to somebody who's watching this, who might be struggling with their mental health, what would you say in order to maybe encourage them to reach out or just to sort of, you know, take that step forwards into recovering?
Yeah, I think for me, the first thing is really maybe the stereotypes that we've been told, you know, because you're told, be strong, don't cry, don't show this, you know, your weak side. It's first to know that it's okay not to be okay. That's the first thing. And yes, life is full of stress. And I've learned this even from my own personal experiences. Difficulties will come. There's nobody who will not have a challenge at one point or the other. And when it becomes overbearing, then it's okay to reach out. You need to talk to somebody. And why therapy works, because you're talking to somebody who really doesn't know you, they don't judge you, and you can have a very free conversation. And for me, given that I'm also an African, I'm just telling other Africans, whether they're in my country, in the continent, or even in the diaspora, you can be vulnerable with me. Let's just talk, just open up, talk, we understand you, and we'll feel you from we'll be culturally sensitive to your needs and concerns. Yes, and maybe for people just to watch out for the telltale signs. Maybe the first thing is maybe sleep. If you're having issue with sleep, either you're sleeping too much or you're not getting enough sleep, that's a point of concern. If you lose interest in things that you used to like doing, and now you don't have interest, you have a low mood, you have just no energy, eating patterns have changed. Those are just some of the things that could tell you maybe something is not right. And it's okay to just reach out, and you can talk to us. And actually, there are a lot of now professionals who are out here, and there's help available.
Yeah, and this leads into the next question, because you're available right now to treat anyone online, right? Africans from all around the world, whether it be in the continent, as you said, or in the diaspora.
Yes, actually get a lot of people from diaspora, and they schedule the meetings, they log in. We are now sensitive to the time differences. It doesn't matter. It could be at night. So it's flexible. Even for me, I really like working online because you're able to adjust your timing and you can reach many more people. Of course, the other benefits is that even the cost, travel expenses, there's a lot you really save by just being able to access somebody online. But again, not all cases are the same. So mostly for anxiety, depression, substance use, those are good cases where people can actually reach out. Yeah. And if we find there's a need, then we'll recommend maybe you see a psychiatrist, or you can visit the hospital. So we'll also assess the need and be able to determine what we can do.
I also think with COVID as well, now people are more used to sort of doing these things online, whether it be just having important meetings or something like that. So I think the sort of shift for therapy also that's now been, you know, more online, even for people who never thought that they would do therapy online, you know, it's changed. I think it's shown people that they really can have effective therapy online. And it also really shows that, you know, if you need something more specific to you, as you said before, to have like cultural awareness and to be more sensitive to where people are coming from, you know, maybe some people in different communities won't be able to find something that they relate to because there's nothing in their area, but then they can see, you know what, actually there is something for me and it's online.
Yes, precisely. We are calling it also the new normal, having online therapy. It was not there. I mean, actually, like many other practices, things have changed and we must embrace this. And I think it was just timely that we got to do this. Luckily in Africa also, the internet penetration now is very good. I think we're doing very well. Everybody has a mobile phone, even up country. So there's no excuse. It doesn't matter where you are, even in the remote areas, just pick up the phone, just get in touch, and we can be able to listen to you and see how we can make you thrive.
Thank you so much for taking the time to sit with us today and just to encourage people to get help and live the most fulfilling lives that they can.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for having me. And yes, Karibu Kenyan.
Thank you.